Let's get it out of the way. This is not a Minecraft mod. See? I told you. Not long ago, we talked about Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, a much-loved and highly influential 2006 title about kicking orcs off of a cliff. This was developed by Arcane, the masters of the immersive sim. 20 years later, one solo developer asked themselves, what if Dark Messiah, but funny?
What was that?
Well, I mean, intentionally funny. Long after Dark Messiah booted its way onto store shelves, we finally get The Adventures of Sir Kicksalot from Stéphane Leroy, an action RPG parody that takes every concept from Arcane's classic Kicklord adventure and cranks it up to 11. But can Kicksalot stand alongside the game it so obviously parodies? Or does the joke fall flat? As always, our YouTube members and generous heroes on Patreon deserve a hand for supporting our quest to conquer the largest backlog on Earth. We'll share how you can help later on in the video. But for now, let's lace up those bandit-kicking boots and jump into the adventures of Sir Kicksalot. My name is Boss Sauce.
And I'm Roland Coons. And together, we are the two-headed hero.
The premise of Sir Kicksalot is simple. You're the heroic Sir Kicksalot, savior of the land. The first step on our adventure, roll out of bed, take a couple of practice strums on the lute, then fall into the ocean through your own shitter. Okay. After restarting your day, you'll find a messenger outside with a letter. The Princess Lopoli is being held by pirates, and it's up to you, brave Sir Kicksalot, to save her. So like any fool with more heart than brains, you rush to the rescue, slicing up swashbucklers and booting buccaneers into the sea. Real weird how none of these pirates ever learned how to swim. When you finally do find the princess, she reveals that she kidnapped herself in hopes that the brigands would finish you off so you can't stand in the way of her evil plans. Then she launches you right into the ocean. It's up to you to take revenge, so shake the seawater out of your greaves and go put a mailed boot right up that royal skirt. The why of Sir Kicksalot might not give you much to chew on, but let's face it, you ain't here for the plot. The how is much more fun. It's clear that Sir Kicksalot ditches graphical fidelity in favor of an impressive slapstick simulation where nearly anything feels possible. Movement is lightning fast, to the point where it feels sort of like one of those Minecraft parkour videos, and Kicksalot can mantle, duck, corner peek, and roll around with agility. Almost any object you can see becomes a tool of destruction in your hands that you can use to break over the head of the nearest bad guy. Yes, this means weapon durability, and yes, this also means you can deliver death by baguette or play a power chord on a dude's head using his own loot. There's novelty items like the net, which tangles up anybody it's tossed on, or the bucket, which momentarily blinds its target. You can throw a torch by ripping it right off the wall and setting someone ablaze. The simulation aspects here are a lot of fun. Magic wands and crystals can have wildly unpredictable effects, but the mightiest weapon of them all is the lowly fish. It slaps, it humiliates, and it becomes a slippery trap to anyone that dares to step a wayward boot onto it. Kicksalot starts out with a 2-weapon limit. Considering the limited lifespan every tool enjoys, this means you won't really ever get an arsenal of cool toys to carry around. But it does encourage you to be observant, use the environment to the utmost, and carefully choose what you bring with you from room to room. Just like in Dark Messiah, players enjoy a robust melee combat system. Swipe your mouse and left click to attack with the directional chop, thrust, or slash, block with the right mouse, and parry by blocking at just the right time while targeting your opponent's weapon. Or just chuck whatever's in your hand right at the enemy's head. Lucky strikes can shatter a sword, put bad guys in the market for a new head, or even send a limb flying off, which itself can be picked up and used as a weapon while your buddy hops around like a cartoon character. You can even roll slop around to get behind the big boys and land some back shots. Wait, you're telling me that's not what that means? You've got your basic health, stamina, and magic bars to manage here, but this ain't no Dark Souls, because the mighty boot is the centerpiece of your combat strategy. Kicks interrupt a block, kicking into a weapon can disarm an opponent, and kicking a tired opponent can knock them down. kick furniture into enemies to trip them up or knock them over. You can perform powerful flying kicks, or even jump on heads like a Mario brother. Or just kick your foes into one of the many hazards lying around everywhere. Each level trots out something new and exciting to launch your unlucky victims into. There's more than enough spikes, fireplaces, and cliffs to give an OSHA inspector nightmares, and not a single handrail to be found. Altogether, this means you can pull off some sick moves like whipping your sword into a rogue's arm, grabbing it back, and stabbing them right in the face with it, or kicking that buccaneer right as they try to chug down a healing potion, grabbing it off the ground for yourself, and drinking it right in front of them. Honestly, it's the combinations of these things that really make the game shine. All these systems work together beautifully to create just random chaos. When I kicked someone into a fireplace and threw a net on top of them only to watch them roll into the ocean, that's when I knew this is the pinnacle of immersive sim. There's a big variety of enemies to battle here with these tools, and they're not just your bog standard bandits with different flavors of sword and bow. There's powerful wand-wielding wizards, walking suits of armor, hordes of goblins and orcs, spooky, scary skeletons, and incredibly resilient zombies that can lose every single limb and still come at you biting, but will get insta-killed with a single shot to the brain. The real kicker, though, is that enemies can, and will, do nearly anything that you can do. Somehow this one-man dev team has even one-upped the enemy AI from the Arcane game. You might find yourself getting set on fire by a torch being tossed your way, or locked in a deadly crate-to-crate combat. Or even kicked into a bottomless pit yourself. How can a hero stack up to that? Well, the answer lies within this overwhelming skill tree. Through this, you'll lock powerful abilities in the combat, magic, and stealth sections. Ah yes, the three genders, combat, magic, and stealth. The skill tree is fairly massive and interconnected. It's really hard to choose a path here since, well, everything seems so good. Combat skills focus on making your health healthier, your fights fightier, and your chops choppier. You can build a fully hand-to-hand fighter by sinking points into the kick section of the tree, and there's even a dedicated prop fighter perk for those that want to be tavern brawlers. In contrast, stealth skills concentrate on ranged combat, critical hits, and of course, sneaking around. Turns out that double jumps come in pretty handy when you live in a land where everyone's trying to kick you into stuff. Stealth takedowns are here too, but instead they allow you to pick up an unwary enemy and throw them around. Using a barrel as a disguise is fantastic if you want to cause some cartoon shenanigans. Some helpful quality of life skills hide in the middle, like the ability to pickpocket weapons right off of a guard's back, or even double your backpack slots to carry more tools around. But I think magic is the real game changer. We get a little taste of how powerful it can be during the optional tutorial level, but it's probably the most versatile branch of the entire tree. Basic damage spells are at the top, which let you shock, freeze, and burn enemies and so on. The wind spell was a fast favorite for me, super fun sending guards on a quick vacation to the bottom of a staircase. But after a little bit of investment, you can turn these basic spells into defensive landmines, or even enchant your weapons with a temporary burst of elemental power. More powerful magics at the bottom of the tree include a teleport spell, which is great for blinking small distances or getting away without being seen, the illusion spell, a multifunctional instrument of mayhem that can cause a loud distraction, turn you completely invisible, or even make your enemies go berserk on each other. And if you know me, you know I love some infighting. So the final spell, Mind Control, allows you to do exactly that by controlling an enemy directly for a short period of time. All these spells cost precious skill points to unlock though, and skill points can only be earned by beating a level for the first time or by tracking down all the treasure chests that hold them, which are locked away deep within the game's twisting, turning levels. Disregard the fact that everything looks like a Minecraft mod for a second, because the maps are fairly large and filled to the brim with hidden areas and alternative paths. During one section, I skipped an entire fortress filled with barbarians by ducking into a hidden cave, and usually you'll find new points of egress underneath the floorboards. You'd be surprised what you can pull off in a game that doesn't have any fall damage. Well, other than the obvious fall damage anyways. And you might also be surprised at what kind of level designs you can dream up using blocks alone. A pirate fortress shrouded in fog, with a single lighthouse piercing the night sky. A wizard tower reaching up high to the heavens, filled with all manner of arcane traps and magic mirrors. A massive orcish city complete with a prison, a smithy, a training ground, and a solid fuel escape rocket. An ancient cultic temple, deep within the earth, bristling with traps and pitfalls that lead who knows where. It's clear that most of these levels are meant to parody Dark Messiah's story arc, and it feels like each major location in the 2006 game is represented here in some fashion, battling through the orcish mines, infiltrating the cultist base, hell, even surviving a city overrun with undead all seem to be cute little jabs at the source material. The music fits perfectly for this change in tone. Think bouncy adventure stuff with little flutes and oompa oompa horns all over the place. Alka Crab brought some A-game to the soundtrack, and each song gets me really in the mood for some dungeon silliness. This hits home even harder when you hear the goofy cartoon noises that are overlaid across the entire experience. Dark Messiah became somewhat of a meme in its own time, and this was in no small part to a scathing review by Tom Chick on OneUp.com. In this article, Chick puts the game on blast, giving it a 4 out of 10 score and the unwieldy but hilarious title of The Adventures of Sir Kicksalot Death Boot in the Land of Conspicuously Placed Spike Racks. So I think it's only fitting that Stéphane Leroy's loving homage to this cult classic leans extra heavily into the Kicklord meme. That's not to say it stops its good-natured ribbing at Dark Messiah alone. When it comes to the storyline, bare bones barely describes it. Go stop the evil princess from stealing the kingdom. There's no side quests, lore documents are mostly just throwaway gags, and there's a near-zero amount of story agency, but it was nice how the end of each level loosely ties together with the beginning of the next. The game even takes a few liberties with NPC deaths into account, like if you decide to kick the princess into the ocean the first time you meet her before she gets the drop on you, it'll just kinda hand wave and say, oh, your ship crashed. Pretty funny stuff. As for the writing, there's a fairly even amount of hits and cringes when it comes to the written word here, and a couple jokes did manage to get a decent giggle out of me. When you're looking at level names like Boulder's Gate and clicking through the game's dialogue, strewn with geek culture references and silly puns as they are, the reaction tends to be more of a range of gentle head nod and mild exhalation through the nose to an
I understood that reference.
I wouldn't be a System Shock fan if I didn't get a kick out of this one though. More often than not, the real genius lies in the absolute slapstick in the moment-to-moment gameplay. It's pure excellence, maybe up there with the likes of Streets of Rogue when it comes to how much chaos and hilarity you can cause in a short amount of time. So, does Sir Kicksalot stand toe-to-toe with the source of its inspiration? I'd actually say it stands on the shoulders of Dark Messiah in a lot of meaningful ways, but it still isn't entirely perfect. Mid-mission saves are checkpoints, which I don't really vibe with, and the lack of a save scum does make me a sad, sad boy, especially when there's so many toys to try out. It's also a little strange and disorienting that you can only see the player's hands and feet when it seems like there's a full player model already in the game. I also have a small beef with the progression system, mainly that there's no respec option or New Game Plus. There's only a limited number of skill books in the entire game, and there's no way to learn every single skill in a single playthrough, so you'll need to start over from the very beginning in order to try out new character builds. Overall, though, I'd consider these to be nitpicks. The Adventures of Sir Kicksalot is a wild and whimsical 8-hour journey. Without giving anything further away, the final chapters are a victory lap that had me grinning from ear to ear, perfectly capping off one of the most fun and joyful experiences I've had playing an immersive sim this entire year. All of its systems come together beautifully to create something truly special. I'd highly recommend picking up Sir Kicksalot for yourself and giving it a rightful place in your Steam library. As always, our heartfelt thanks go out to the YouTube members and brave heroes that sit around the heroes table over on Patreon. Joining for as little as $1 a month really helps us out. You'll get videos a couple days early and ad-free, and access to some exclusive content like scripts, notes, and other fun stuff. Donating at the highest tiers gets you a shout-out just like the brave champions here.
Wolfgang Brissa,
Yaroslav Rybaki,
Jim DiFrancesco,
Vulpes,
Adam Uselman,
Amelie McNamara,
James Blake,
Cameron Frament,
Dominic Nguyen,
John Williams, Mahogany God King,
Godspeed 7,
Vinny 2142,
Muggs McGurk 812,
I'm a Judah Packmaker, and the rest. If you'd like to find out how a team of dedicated modders is breathing new life back into Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, you need to check out that review next. Here it is on screen. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next Two-Headed Hero.